Was a little list of Don Lennartson by the numbers. Year that Don first attended a contra dance, 1959.
Where was that?
50 years ago, folks. Just about right now.
Where?
It was in Belmont, Massachusetts, a western suburb of Boston, and the caller was none other than Ted Sinella himself. And Ted has sort of been my either mentor at the time or any time I encountered him. And Ted was a pharmacist, and he was very precise about the way he did things, and almost to a ridiculous extent. What he said is, callers must wear a shirt with a breast pocket. And the reason for that is because you have your calling card and you look at it and you give all the background, who wrote the dance, when, and so forth and so on. And then you put it into your pocket and you don't look at it again unless you need to reference it. And this is just the way Ted did things. But the interesting thing was that one time at Lady of the Lake, Kay was dancing with somebody. She was out at the top of the set waiting to get back in, and Ted was calling, and he jumped off the caller's box and swang Kay until they broke the sound barrier, and then set her back in just the right position to re-enter the dance at exactly the right time. And she's never forgotten that, have you?
Your gyros were whirling.
Ted,
It's kind of what Sandy Bradley did to you.
yeah, that's right. I was just telling Warren about how that happened to me. Sandy Bradley leaped off the caller's box and swang me. Went to Port Townsend one time. That was a memorable experience.
So never turn your back on the caller.
That's good advice, generally speaking, actually.
All right, number of original dances that Don has written, at least 50.
Wow.
Some of which we'll get to dance through tonight. Number of injuries caused by Don's instructions from the stage, 0.
Report.
Yes. Net profit from calling and doing sound, 0.
How about pregnancies?
We don't know. Number of individual dances, not the whole dance, but individual dances that Don has called over the years, about 2,000. And here's my favorite statistic. If you took all the couples who have ever danced to Don's calling and lined them up in a long contra dance line, it would stretch from here to Seattle.
Wow. And the last 4 couples would, at the other end would be saying, "We can't hear you back there."
Stop talking and start the music. Can Kathy and I be the first couple?
Oh, no.
So, Don, I know you wanted to talk about a dance series, especially near and dear to your heart. It was one you ran with Kay from 1996 until 1999 on the first Friday of every month at the South Union Grange. And you've talked about that dance as a really special one. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, I'd like to know how many people ever went to that first Friday. Wow, that's great. The neat thing about that is that when I first went to this contra dance just outside of Boston, it was the usual sort of urban, fidgety, sort of city dance. And it was very exciting. But someone at that dance said, if you really want to know what real New England contra dancing is, you need to go up into New Hampshire. You need to go to Peterborough and Durban and Hancock and around Mount Monadnock. Go to Keene, where Ralph Page was originated. So he said they're really different up there. What they have is a community of people who do a lot of things together, and they also dance together. And so the band is whoever is there, and the dancers are whoever else is there. And they would often have them in kitchens or in dining rooms or in living rooms, sort of like we're doing right here. And Ralph Page, who is the dean, who saved contra dancing from swing and so forth during the war years, single-handedly just about, and of course Dudley Laughlin came in and helped them to save contra dancing. He used to publish a little pamphlet called Northern Junket, And if you ever have a chance to see these, they're wonderful bits of New England culture, and a lot of them have to do with dancing. And what these do is someone would stick his head out the back window and say, "Junket, junket," and the word would get passed all around the whole town. And perhaps the most typical of the kind of dances I'm talking about happened in Nelson, New Hampshire. And Nelson is sort of the holy grail of the old style of country dancing. Duke Miller used to call there, and Ralph, and so forth. And when you went down the hall at Nelson, you actually went down the hall because it was slanted down. You had a hell of a time coming back up again. But these were the dances that were preserved for a long time. And I always wanted to see a dance as close as we could get to that in Olympia, where it was local dance, local caller, local people. And so in many ways, the dance at the South Union Grange First Friday dances really approached that. It was always Lyndon and Kay and David. In the early days, John Culhane was also a member of the band. And we just always had it on the first Friday, no advertising, and there's no one at the door to take money. There was just a wicker basket up toward the front, you know, help us pay for the hall and so forth, and it just had a great feeling. However, the dance that really comes closest to those wonderful New Hampshire dances happens right here. And Lyndon, don't go away, come here. Come here.
You have to occupy the seat. Come here.
And we have my dear friend, who is the man who is responsible for these dances that happen in his house, and they are as close as you come to the pure, wonderful southern New Hampshire dances that happen over on Mount Monadnock in someone's home, where people come into the home, they have good food, they have good fellowship, and they have good music and good dancing. And Lyndon is the guy who provides that all for us.
I just wanted to honor a comment from Thelma, who once said, "Other places have dance communities, we have community dances."
Yeah. Thanks for that, Thelma.
Let's dance.
Let's dance.
Good idea.
Have we got a band? Have we got dancing?
We got a band.